significant for production.
Okay, Ron, we kind of left it off where you were talking about the difference between revenue share and profit share. So if you could kind of break it down for some of us who don't really know what the difference is, please.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, the revenue share is taken off the top to share with the sponsoring agent. So back to Brian and I. So let's say, for example, if you're a numbers person, we're talking about a $200,000 deal. So you're going to take 200,000 and you're going to multiply that by 3%, which is 6,000. And you're going to multiply that by 3.5%, which is $210. So let's say I had 5 Brians that I introduced EXP to. That would be a rev share amount of $1,050 paid to me every single month on the 22nd of the month. So I know there's a check coming in or an ACH wire coming in every 22nd of the month from my agents who I've introduced to EXP. So when I saw these numbers, and that's why you hear a lot of other agents talk about, man, I can't believe I saw, a buddy of mine who's making X amount or this amount. It's impossible for EXP to be giving out so much money, or it's impossible for him to be making that much money when I am only making this much on profit share. So again, the numbers that we saw and the numbers that were spoken to us about were unheard of. It was too good to be true. So if you're a numbers person, again, back to the model of Keller Williams, and I use KW because I was one of their agents, the first tier, it's broken down in 7 tiers, like you see here. First tier, second tier, all the way down to 7. So the first tier, I believe, is 0.0075%. The second is 0.002. And again, please don't quote me on these because I'm just guessing on the numbers. So that was my interest when I joined KW, because I was going to make a little bit of money to pay, diaper money, gas money, stuff like that. So when I saw the numbers at EXP, they were talking about revenue share and 3.5% and 4%, which again, back to my $4 or $3 profit share off of Brian's transaction compared to $210 in revenue share. So when you break it all down, it equals out to 20% at the bottom. If you look at Keller Williams numbers, it equals out to 1% at the very bottom of all 7 tiers. So again, if you're a number...
And Ronnie, just stop you. Can you pull up a slide that has that percentage on it? Because that makes so much sense when you see what you just said, that 20%. I'm talking about that has it going down, because this one doesn't show it.
Yeah, it doesn't show it, so I'm going to give you the numbers on the breakdown. And EXP removed it a couple of months back. But if you calculate the numbers, the first tier, for example, what you're calculating is EXP is on an 80-20 split. The cap is 16,000. So that's how you come up with those numbers. If you take, it's an 80-20 split, 16,000 cap, so it's $80,000, and then you multiply that to be able to come up with the 2,800. So the first tier, for example, is 3.5% that you would collect from your sponsored agent. The second tier is 4%. So when you reach the 5-agent mark, you're going to unlock the second level. So let's say Brian brings in an agent. I'm going to collect 3.5 from Brian. Brian brings on an agent. I'm going to collect 4% off of that agent once I reach 5 Brians, for example.
So you can't get to the second tier until you've got 5 people.
Correct. Correct. So once I reach 10 Brians, I'm going to unlock the third level, which is 2.5%. So I'm going to run down these really quick, so I would recommend you write them down. So the first tier is 3.5%. The second tier is 4%. The third tier is 2.5%. So first tier, 3.5, 4%, 2.5, 1.5, 1%, 2.5%, and 5%.
And if you add up all those numbers, that equals
20% of your entire downline. Yep. So if you've got 100 agents 200 agents, 1,000 agents. And when I talk about these numbers, 100 or 200 or 1,000 agents, that doesn't mean that you're going to go out and recruit or introduce EXP to 1,000 agents. I've only introduced EXP to 17 agents, but those 17 agents have turned into hundreds and hundreds of agents. Same thing with Brian. So I don't know those hundreds of agents, but yet I'm still collecting revenue from the entire downline because it's endless. There's no cap to it.
Right. And go back to what you said, and that's why I brought this out. So when you add all those tiers up and equals 20%, if you look at, and we love Keller Williams. If it wasn't for Keller Williams, this would not exist. Matter of fact, when I had a previous brokerage, I would tell people to go to Keller Williams training for 2 weeks and come to me. It was funny. I love Keller Williams. But when you look at that tier 7, once those numbers are added up, it's 1%. Right, Ronnie? The total is 1%.
So when I calculated the numbers of KW, I'm talking 20% off of this. KW is 1%. Yep. So let's say you have 5,000 agents with your profit share at Keller Williams. You're only going to make 1% of those 5,000 agents.
Oh, Ronnie, if I could say something really quick here. The one thing that kind of, because I was looking at Keller Williams before coming on board with EXP as well, because, you know, that's just what you do, right? Everybody talks about them. They're definitely the big gorilla in the room.
That's a great company.
So the one thing, yeah, they're a great company. And like you guys said, the training is just amazing over there. But the one thing that kind of turned me off with their splits there was the profit. And let's just face it, we're self-employed. We tend to expense everything. And my thing was, you know, how much is left after the expense everything, right? Because, you know, especially Keller Williams, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe they're a franchise, aren't they?
Yes.
So right. So the guy that owns, or the girl that owns the franchise, will be expensing, you know, office equipment and their, you know, really
everything
nice.
They can. Yeah, everything they can.
And then, you know, and by the end of the year, they may be showing, let's just say, I don't know, $10,000 worth of profit, and having to split that in God knows how many agents they have.
Right.
I don't know if there was anything else left for me. That was my decision factor. So just want to throw that out.
The funny part about that, I like what you're thinking there. Funny part is, what if somebody, because we all do that, we expense it all the way down. What if somebody expensed it to a loss? Did they go back to the Keller Williams agents and ask them to contribute money?
Yeah.
I mean, that's supposed to be funny.